All right, so we're going to start coming up with ideas with issues. So we want to think about issues that you are interested in. So when we make this list, only jot down, well, actually jot them all down for now, and then you can go back and say, you know, this is something that I think I might be interested in. So some topics that interest you. Go ahead.
Well, wait, it's not about this right now. I feel like I can't really write because there's a lot on my hand.
Okay, get an iPad. Okay, so one issue might be animal testing. Like I know some of you have a huge love for animals, and you think testing on animals is really unethical. Okay, well, I'm going to jot down a whole bunch, and then you can add to them. So bullying, cyberbullying, so you should be writing these down. Issues with social networking, like Facebook. Another issue could be school uniforms. So an issue is anything that people can, it's topics that kind of cause or create are problems. So school uniforms, give me some other issues. Yes?
School lunch.
School lunch could be an issue. Divorce could be an issue. Give me another issue. Yes?
Nuclear war.
All right, but the other thing is this. We only want to write about what we know or what we're willing to find out. So if you want to write an essay about nuclear war, go for it, but you better be ready to do some research to get your facts straight. Okay, give me some other possible ideas. Sure. Death could be an issue. So I could write a whole essay, and my topic could be, you know, losing a parent is detrimental to a child. All right, give me another one. Yes?
Health.
Health. Or maybe fitness. Whoops. Fitness.
Like a parent fight.
Sure. Parents, well that kind of, here we'll do like parents divorce or parents fighting. So you should be jotting all of these down. There's nobody who's sitting there doing nothing with nothing on their paper because you're writing every single one of these down. You will not be able to do the next step unless you have these written down. Go ahead, Kira.
Child abuse.
Child abuse. And did we say animal abuse?
No.
Okay, you know, you heard about that one football player, gosh, was it a couple years ago? Yes. Okay, he was accused, or he was charged of animal abuse. Okay, give me another one. Yes. What's that? Pollution. Fitting in. Popularity could be an issue. Another one could be gossip can be an issue. Okay, so we added global warming, right? Yes. What is it? Yeah, gossip, rumors. Yes. The economy. Now, only do the economy if you know what you're talking about. Yes. That's really broad. Like terrorism? Neglect? Like if you're talking about neglect of a child, like it's...
No, like an adult. Like, it's that child abuse then.
Okay. Yes. All right, abduction. Okay, so you have topics, right? But besides topics, I'm sorry, these are issues. So let's say, you know, you really don't feel too strongly about any of these issues. Well, then you know what you can do? You could write about any topic that interests you. It doesn't have to be an issue. It doesn't have to be a problem. A topic is just a topic. It's just a subject that you want to write about. So now, so when we're talking about things that interest you, like for me, so I want you to make a separate list. These are possible topics that you could write about. So I could write a whole essay about the beach. All right? Because that's something that interests me. I could write an essay about reading. I could write an essay about clothes. Okay, I could write an essay about the mall. I could write an essay about lockers. I could write an essay about school food. All right, I could write an essay about some kind of sport. Okay, so these are not necessarily issues, rather they're topics. And we all have interest in something. All right, last year, was it last year or 2 years ago, I had a kid who wrote an essay about horror movies and how unrealistic horror movies are. All right, so whatever, it could be as quirky or as odd or unique as you want. Okay, give me some other topics that interest you. Go ahead. Well, the problem with school is that school is way too big. I mean, within school, you have lockers, you have school food, you have homework, which is kind of like sometimes an issue. You have sports within school, so school is way too big. Go ahead. Jared, go ahead.
Oh, restaurant?
What is it?
About a restaurant?
Yeah, sure, a restaurant. Okay, let's just make a huge list here on topics. We added some to our list. We said dreams. I could write a whole essay about dreams. Hopes, friends, teachers, popularity, supervision, curfew, bedtime stories. Some of the other ones that were up here before was like playing time, like if you're on a certain team and like one person gets more playing time or one player gets more playing time over another player. You could also do, how about like parents and sports? All right. So I see some crazy parents out there as a parent myself, so that could be one. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. Stop talking.
Maybe like volleyball?
Well, that'd be under particular sports. Okay? Yes.
Well, I have one that, like, it has to do with technology, but for, like, TV channels and, like, how some are, like, stupid and stuff.
Okay. You could do TV. You could actually just do something on TV shows. All right. So now that we have this list of topics, right? Put your pens down. What we want to do is we want to do some writing that's going to generate a possible thesis. Now, I know you know what a thesis is because you did a thesis in 5th grade and you did a thesis in 4th grade. So when we talk about a thesis, it's just the big way of saying it's your big idea. The big idea of what you're going to write about and what you're trying to prove. So a thesis, so write this down, is your big idea of what you're trying to prove. This applies to persuasive essay and personal essay. So when I go to write, all right, the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to pick my topic and I'm going to free write. So when you free write, basically what it means, you're writing whatever comes to your mind. However, there are certain prompts that you are going to use that's going to help you come up with a thesis. So if you look up here, I want you to jot these down. All right, so title this is a list of, nope, not issues. Oh, here's some more issues if you want to add any of these. Puberty, obesity, alcoholic parents, cyberbullying, death, adoption, foster care, divorce, learning disability, ADHD. Any of these that interest you, add them to your list. Pressure, so pressure could be parents putting pressure on yourself or peer pressure. Body image is basically how you feel about yourself. Bullying, acne, rumors, sibling rivalry, which means, competition with your siblings. Smoking, youth violence, absent parents, physical abuse, neglect, animal abuse, terrorism, gun violence, unhealthy lunch food, cleanliness in school, the environment, fitting in, theft, and pollution. So any of those that interest you, take a minute and add them to your list. Question. These are prompts that you're going to use as you free write. And these are going to lead you to a possible thesis. Because your whole goal for today and the next couple of days is to come up with as many, I don't have any, you're going to have to wait, as many possible theses you can. And then you're going to pick the one that you feel the strongest about, that you have a lot of support that you can prove. So you're going to use this makes me think, this makes me realize, this is giving me the idea, this is important because. You should be writing down every single one of these. We're not sitting here doing nothing, we're writing it down. If you don't write this down, you're not going to have it, and then you're down. So these are the prompts that you're going to use that's going to lead you to a possible thesis for a personal essay, all right, or a big idea. However, what is really important to understand is that there is a difference between a persuasive thesis and a personal thesis. So like, let's say, for example, I'm doing the whole topic of video games, right? Can somebody unfreeze that for me? Okay, so this is my one thesis. Parents should not allow their kids to play video games. All right, write this down. And I'm abbreviating. I'm putting VG for video games. But then this is my other thesis. My other thesis is video games destroy children's lives. Okay, these are same topic, but different ideas. Question? So which of these would you say is a persuasive thesis, and which one is a personal essay thesis, and why? I'm just going to tell you. This one right here, this is persuasive, and this is personal. The reason why, and I'm abbreviating, the reason why this is persuasive is this is telling somebody to actually do something. Like, do not let your kids play video games. They are telling you to do something. Whereas this one is basically, I'm not telling anybody to do something. I'm just stating my opinion. Video games destroys children's lives. If I turned that around to tell somebody to do something, I would say, all parents should destroy all their video games in their household. That would be persuasive. So you have to be careful. So let's do, because it seems like you're still a little confused. So let's do another example. So let's say if I'm doing this whole school uniforms thing, right? All right, so if I have school uniforms improve students' academic careers. In other words, they improve them academically in school. They get better in school. I'm spelling this wrong. Okay, so now, but I'm going to turn this around. All schools should implement, which means put in, school uniforms. So which of these is a persuasive? Is it number 1 or number 2? And tell me why. You got it. Number 2 is persuasive because they're telling me to do something. They're saying that you guys should go out and implement or put in these school uniforms. Whereas this one, I mean, they both are your opinions, right? They're both their opinions, their feelings on a topic. However, one is telling you to actually go out and do something, and the other one is not. It's just stating your opinion. Okay? So let's try this. I'm going to give you a persuasive thesis, and I want you to turn it around into a personal essay thesis. So let's say we're doing homework. Okay? So my thesis is, actually I'm going to put one down. You tell me if it's personal or persuasive. Homework is a waste of time. So you don't have to write this down. Is it, put your thumbs up if you think it is persuasive, thumbs down. Actually, just put your hands up if you think it's persuasive. Yeah, it's personal essay. Because am I telling you to do anything about homework? Am I telling you? Okay, so what I want you guys to do is take this in your groups and turn it around until it's a persuasive thesis. So go ahead and do that now. Actually, you can do it with Princeton. In order to turn this around to a persuasive, I could just write, teachers should not give homework. Okay? All right. So now, what I want to do is this. So you understand the difference between a persuasive thesis and a personal essay thesis. So now what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how to free write on the topic, okay? But when you free write, what you're going to do is you're going to use these prompts to push your thinking along. You can go back to your seat to push your thinking along. But the other thing that really, really awesome proficient writers do is when they write, they use those language of the disciplines. So I'm going to try to use hyperboles. I'm going to try to use similes. I'm going to try to use metaphors, personification, and anaphora when I write. So when I'm free writing, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm trying to come up with ideas for my personal essay. I'm trying to use these writing crafts. I'm trying to use these prompts to push my thinking along. So it's definitely a lot of stuff that I have to do. So eyes up here, and just don't talk as I write. All right? Just watch me as I free write. And pay attention to any of those crafts that I do. So I have my prompts right in front of me, and I have I'm keeping in mind the language of the discipline crafts that I'm using. So I'm going to do video games. All right, so here I go. Please don't talk because I need quiet when I write. And ignore my grammar, my spelling. I'll check it at the end. And if you see a craft being used, shoot your hand up. All right, what is that craft? Which one am I using?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. What's the hyperbole? Jordan. You got it. Read me my extreme exaggeration I used. Jordan, go ahead.
Person with the IQ of 2.
Yeah, I mean, really, could a person with the IQ of 2 play a video game? No. Yeah, right, so I'm using exaggeration. All right, the people who were allowed to leave early, I'll let you leave early next time. All right, so it says, when I think of video games, one word comes to mind, dumb. I mean, really, a person with an IQ of 2 can play a video game. Even a baby could do it. So that right there, we said, was an example of what, everybody? Hyperbole. Okay, so this right here, okay, hyperbole. So you should be using those, not right now, you should be using those right up there, the language of the disciplines, when you write. What is so fun about all this shooting, killing, and murdering? This makes me think that video games can be harmful to children. So that right there, this is actually a possible thesis for a personal essay. For example, the kid that did the school shooting in Connecticut was reported to have been a big fan of video games. Now, I'm not necessarily saying he shot those poor children and adults because of video games, but it could have played a factor. Also, video games cause children to not be physically active. So that right there could be a possible thesis. Okay? All they want to do is sit inside on the couch and play the game instead of going outside. This is important because kids nowadays do not get enough of this, and their health is affected. This makes me realize that video games are really harmful to a children's health. So this right now is another possible thesis, and I kind of repeated that. So when you're free writing, it's okay to repeat. So we're going to practice this right now. I'm going to partner you up, and you're going to do some writing on this whole topic of homework. Okay? We're going to see through your writing if you're able to come up with a possible thesis for the topic of homework, or it could be an issue of homework. But when you go to write, I'm expecting you to try to use a simile, anaphora, personification, a metaphor, or hyperbole. All right? So I'm going to put you in partners. All right. So looking at these responses, so let's start off with the first one. It says, well, somebody just submitted. You have to stop submitting. It is frozen. Do not submit anymore. Okay, so now we're frozen on this. All right, so when I think of homework, I'm reading the first one, I think that we get too much homework. The homework is like terrorists trying to harm us, which is bad. The teacher gives us so much of homework, and they expect us to do it all by the next day. It takes time to do good work. And isn't that what they want, good work? And we should have more than one day to do this. I mean, really, do they not like us or something? So, first of all, let's talk about what would be a possible thesis for a personal essay that is written in here. Remember, it's not persuasive. We're not telling somebody what to do or think. We're just stating our opinion on the topic. So it would be a possible thesis. So this you could write about, I think we get too much homework, right? What are some examples of language of the disciplines that were being used in this particular free writing? Give me one example that was, okay, so the homework is like a terrorist trying to harm us. So that's an example of a simile. So when you go to do your homework tonight, I'm expecting a couple things. I'm expecting you free write. I'm expecting you to use those prompts. And I'm expecting you to use language of the discipline. So let's look at the second one. I think that homework is stupid because it wastes your time at home. This makes me realize that you do enough work in school. Homework is like a fly buzzing around your face and it won't fly away. I mean, really, homework is like a laser rotting your brain. For example, most of the math that we do, we wouldn't actually use in real life. This makes me realize that we are wasting our time. To add on to that, if we should even have homework at all, it should be a once a week from each teacher at the most. So looking at this, what would be an example of a possible personal essay thesis? So you could write an essay, personal essay, that homework is stupid. Now, we are in middle school, and we're going to get into like writing more sophisticated thesis. So would I say that's the best way of saying about homework is being stupid, the best way to write that thesis? Probably not, but as long as you're getting the idea of what a personal essay thesis is. Homework is a waste of time. You could write a whole essay on that. Now looking at this, what are some of the language of disciplines, the crafts that were being used in this particular writing piece? So this person, this particular free writing, used a simile. So let's now look at the third one. Is there another one? When I think about homework, what comes to mind is wasted time. Some kids do after-school activities, then come home late and don't have time for homework. You don't want the kids that go to activities the whole time to think about homework. Instead, you want them to have fun. You only live once. Homework just eats up your free time. The kids that don't have activities need time to be with family and relax after a rough day at school. This makes me think that we should not have homework anymore. This also makes me think that homework is more aggravating than it should be. Maybe kids should get one subject of homework so they don't get stressed out. Life is here to enjoy it, not dread it. What do you see as a personal essay thesis in this particular free writing? So in this particular one, we have kids don't have time for homework. You can write a whole essay on that. Is there anything else in there, another personal essay topic? Yes? Homework is a waste of time. And you can give all the reasons why homework is a waste of time. All right. Were there any languages of the disciplines, any crafts being used in this particular free writing? And I like how some people are really looking. I see Mike is really looking, really analyzing, trying to find the answer like everybody should be doing. Yes?
Homework just eats up your time.
Yes, homework just eats up your time. Okay, who eats? People eat, right? Homework does not eat, so that's giving a non-human object human qualities.
Insects.
All right, so let's do one more right here. I think that homework is horrible because we do enough work in school. Like yesterday, another way is that I think other people want to enjoy their life, not sit in our room. Homework is like Hitler because it tortures. This makes me realize that this is a big waste of our time, and we need to do something about this. Like yesterday, when Mrs. Turner gave us homework, and we had a very busy days. I mean, people have lives. They can't just sit around all day and do homework. No, but they can sit around all day and play on their Xbox and their whatever. Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah, I know. I got 3 kids. You think I want to sit at home and grade all these papers? I got stuff to do too. Look at this one. It seems to be the same thesis is repeated over and over. Like homework is horrible. You can write a whole essay about homework being horrible. All right? And then we have right here, we have another simile. Hitler, homework is like Hitler because it tortures. Okay, so what you are going to do today, that you're going to start in class, and it's going to be homework. I want you to go to a clean page. Well, if you stop talking, then you can get started on your homework, and you won't have as much homework. All right. So go to a clean page. Put down, I'll wait till you're done talking. So title it CW/HW. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick one topic or issue. What I'm going to do is I want you to write down the topic or the issue that you are deciding to write about tonight. So for me, what I'm probably going to write about, I'll probably write about health/fitness. Now, you cannot write about homework because that's what we modeled with, so you cannot do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to free write for a minimum of, free write for a minimum of 2 full entire pages. So if you're first off, you're writing about a topic that you enjoy and that you like and that you feel passionate about, you should have no problem. So you're talking, if this is your notebook right here, okay? So these are the margins, okay? You know how you have these margins? You're going to start right here and you're going to go all the way to the very end, okay? And I'm talking in a normal size handwriting, okay? If you write in very large handwriting, I'm expecting more from you. When you write, I'm expecting, so I want you to jot this down. I want you to, number 1, you're going to use the prompts to push your thinking to give you an idea. Okay, so the first thing I want you to write is to use the prompts. Okay, use prompts, and you have those prompts in your notes. Second thing, I want you to, as you're writing, to incorporate. What does incorporate mean? Incorporate. Raise your hand, please, Christina. You got it. Include. So incorporate some crafts that we learned. So I'm talking personification, and I'm abbreviating similes, metaphors, anaphora, or what am I missing? Hyperbole. All right? So, and then what I want you to do is I want you to label the craft. So if you use the hyperbole, everybody's writing this down. So if you're using a hyperbole, I want you to just put like a little arrow and label it. And then anytime as you're writing, you get an idea that you think is a possible thesis for your writing piece, I want you to underline that. So underline possible thesis. But be careful. I'm not looking for persuasive thesis. I'm looking for personal essay thesis. Any questions?